Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Calvin, the guy behind the camera is Dylan. In today's video, we'll be doing a DIY to turn an old beat up fabric sofa into one of these. Right, so this DIY trend has been going a little bit viral on YouTube lately. We've just recently watched Drew on his channel, Lone Fox. If you haven't watched it before, watch his channel, watch his stuff. He's actually a DIY and a makeover channel. Pretty good stuff if you're into that kind of thing. Make sure to check out his channel. So on his channel, he just released a video turning an old fabric sofa into a faux leather sofa. And I have to say, it looks fantastic. So what we wanted to do was replicate that. We wanted to use this method for a makeover that we're doing of an old house. We just recently released a video on it, a house tour. If you haven't watched it, make sure to check out the link above or a link in the description. So for this DIY, don't worry, you're not reupholstering a sofa, you're not buying leather, you're not cutting up your old sofa. Heck, you don't even need to know how to sew. All you need is a can of paint, some paint brushes, and a fabric softener. Alright, enough talk, let's get to DIYing. Alright, so for this DIY, we'll be using Nippon's Satin Glow paint. If you're interested in the color that we used, you can check out the name and code of the paint in the description. We will also be using this Downy brand softener. Before we start painting directly on the sofa, we wanted to try a few different ratio combinations. Here you can see we have 3 different ratios of paint to softener. First one on the left will have 1 part paint and 1 part softener. The middle one will have 2 parts paint and 1 part softener. And the last one on the right has 3 parts paint and 1 part softener. Now that we have all the paints ready, the next thing is to give everything a good mix and start painting on the fabric. However, it turns out the fabric was a little too thin and the paint started to seep through and onto the table. So we just laid it on a piece of old newspaper and continued painting. Once all the swatches were done, we let them dry for a couple of hours. After they all dried, I wanted to do a scratch test, as I was curious if the paint would come off with some rough scratching or scrunching of the fabric. And to my surprise, there was none. It was almost like we had dyed the fabric this color. Speaking of which, the different ratios of paint to softener didn't have much difference in color or texture between them. So for this project, we'll be using the 2:1 ratio. Now it's time for the real thing. But before we started painting, we sprayed the whole sofa with a mixture of water and softener. This is to help the paint spread a little better when we started painting. Once the sofa was sufficiently soaked, we started painting the seat cushions. First, it seemed like it wasn't really spreading very well, but we just kept brushing on more paint and sprayed on more of the water and softener mixture, and it was spreading just fine. Then we went in with a darker tone of color around the edges of the cushion to give it a little more depth and contrast. Now that we had the technique down, we started painting the armrest. We then moved on to the back cushion then the sides. And finally the back of the sofa. We actually gave the sofa 2 coats of the paint mixture, but honestly just the first coat was more than enough to get the effect that we wanted. Once all the painting was done, we moved on to the wooden legs and trim on the sofa. We wanted it to pop a little more, and the original reddish mahogany color just wasn't doing it. So we masked the fabric of the sofa the best we could and gave the wooden legs and trim 2 coats of flat black spray paint. If you're interested in the spray paint that we use, you can check out the description below for more information. Once all the painting was done, we let it dry, remove all the masking tape, and we were done. That was how we turned an old fabric sofa into a faux leather sofa. Super simple, super easy, and super cheap. Like I said before, we'll be using this DIY for an old house makeover that we'll be doing on our channel. You can click the card above to watch that video. Alright, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, share this video to your friends, and subscribe. Until the next video, see ya, bye!